Okay, did everybody manage to find the the videos you needed and get stuff? I guess it hasn't been due yet. It's due by midnight tonight, and then um, there's always a day grace period. So it says it's due tonight at midnight, but really you can still submit stuff through tomorrow at midnight. Um, but yes, question.
Do I have to watch all of them or just like the three I need? Like there's like
I think it said to watch all six. It should have. Let me look at what it says.
because I just watched the Zap Star ones.
Okay. So yeah, um you should watch all of all six of these. Um the ones that are not Zach Star are just me talking, and it's just sort of more just basic information about it. The Zach Star stuff is a little more kind of details and things. Um, and then for the ones that I did, if you look at um, the lecture notes, if it's helpful, you can actually look in here at what I wrote in those lectures. Um, so you could print that out and write your own notes in the margins or whatever. Any other questions about the assignment that's due today? Um, what we're going to do is I'm going to start getting us into computer aided design CAD stuff today in class, and then I'm going to assign you some CAD stuff in addition to three more engineering topics, just to give you sort of an overall view of what the different engineering topics are. So could everybody open up? Tell me if we need more computers, but everyone either open up your own laptop or log into the desktop in front of you, and we're going to start registering for an education license with Autodesk so we can use their CAD program. Um, the program we're going to use is called Fusion 360. It's made by Autodesk. Um, and it's CAD software. And CAD stands for Computer Aided Design. And we'll make sure everybody has their license and gets logged in and everything, and then we'll start just learning some basic skills on this program. Yes. Okay. Yep. So once you're logged in and everything, so this first thing we're going to do is get a Fusion 3. Well, it's really a whole Autodesk education license, education account. Um, and so the first step is to go to I guess I'll just write this all in here. So www.autodesk.com. /education /edu dash software /overview So it should look like this. Anybody need more time to get logged in and get where I am? And then click sign in. And be sure that when you enter, so now you're gonna create an account here. Be sure you use a school email account, okay? Because I think that's part of how they verify your that you're a student. Then it'll ask you some questions to verify your educational eligibility. So I'll give everyone a little time to get caught up here. Okay. Once you get all that stuff verified, then I think it gives you, so some of you already went to Fusion, but I think after that, I remember there was a page of products, like what Autodesk products you want to include. So really all we care about in this class is Fusion 360. So select Fusion 360. Do you happen to have a laptop with you?
I do.
Okay, great. Select Fusion 360. On the educational products page. So the last step is, so you can choose, so I'm going to put this as download or activate. If you have your own computer, you can choose to download this software and install it. And there's some nice things about the installed version. The one that I'm going to always use is just the web version, which works pretty well. Every once in a while, it'll there'll be a little glitch here and there, it'll sort of delay or whatever, but really I never have any problems with it. So you can choose whether you want to use an installed version on your computer or just um, log in, and bless you, you can use the web version on any computer you're on. Go to, like, open a new browser window, um, and put in Fusion 360 online, or this is the website we want, fusion.online.autodesk.com. And if everything is working, hopefully you'll see this page. And when you click Launch Fusion, it'll start counting up, and that's getting us into this Fusion environment. Every one of these packages is a little bit different, so we'll get used to the new Fusion format together here. So today we are going to do this new part. And we're going to make a thing that looks like this. And the dimensions, we're going to do 1/2 inch here, 0.4 inches here, a length of 2 inches, and then we're going to have 4 equally spaced holes that go all the way through. So it's 0.16 inches to get to the front of that first hole. I didn't draw that very well. And then 16 inches, 0.16 inches, sorry, between the adjacent holes. And then we're going to do a little kind of like an emboss, like a little cutout part in both sides. And this distance is 0.05 inches. And the depth of this little cutout is 0.05 inches. Oh, and each of these holes has a diameter of 0.3 inches. And those holes are going to go all the way through from the top to the bottom. So that's the shape we're going to do. And in order to do that today, the things that we're going to get to are first a sketch, that's a 2D thing. Second, extrudes. And we're going to do dimensioning. Okay, so let's go into the Fusion environment. And I'm going to make a new project. I'll say I'm going to call this project 2026 spring. Okay. And I'm going to open this project, and when you double click on the project that you've made, there are no files in there because we haven't done any parts yet. To make more space so we can see the parts we're making better, you can click this X to, just give you the whole screen. When you want to go back, you can go back to this data panel that shows basically like the folder you're in. Okay. And we are going to make a new design. So I'm going to call it box 1. And you can see that the location is in that new project that we just made. And here is what we're going to do. So I'm going to start by making this rectangular solid. And the way I'm going to do it is I'm first going to sketch out like a footprint, and it doesn't matter, we can choose which one of these planes we want to do the footprint in. I could sketch out the footprint of this, and then the extrude, think of it as like squeezing Play-Doh through the Play-Doh Fun Factory or like toothpaste out of a tube. You have the footprint, and then you decide how far you want to extend that footprint in the other dimension. So we could draw this little rectangle and extrude this way, or we could draw this bigger rectangle and extrude up. Okay. I'm going to choose to do the bigger rectangle and extrude up that way. Yep.
What is the distance, not from the bottom of like the side, like that side part, but from like the side? Let me see. This 2 parts.
Oh, those are all 0.05.
Okay,
So,
they're all 0.05.
Yeah, it's just like it's like a 0.05 rim around the outside, kind of. Okay, so I'm going to start with a sketch, and this is the Create Sketch tool. So I'm just going to click that, and this thing pops up that's like, where do you want to sketch this? It's basically saying, what direction do you want things to go? So before I clicked it, it was in this orientation. I'm going to click in this quadrant just to keep it in the same orientation it was in. But you could click anywhere, and that's just deciding sort of how the coordinate system that's given is oriented compared to your part. So I'm going to click that. And when you do that, it switches you from a 3-dimensional view into a 2-dimensional view. Remember, this sketch is just a 2D thing that we're going to draw in this plane. Okay. And so now there's a couple ways we could go about this. I'm going to draw that long rectangle that has a side length of 0.5 and another side length of 2. We could use the rectangle tool. That's probably the most straightforward one. Or we could use the line tool and just draw lines all the way around. I'll do the rectangle. So I'll click at the origin, and then I'll click up here to make the other line. So do that and let me know if something goes wrong, but just create this rectangle here. And when you're done, you can right click and click cancel, and that takes you out of the rectangle tool. So we're still in the sketch, but we're out of the rectangle. Does everyone have this rectangle up? Okay. So now I'm gonna make sure the dimensions are the way I want. So go to this create drop-down menu and go to sketch dimensions. And first I'm going to make this length 0.5. So I'm going to click on this line and drag it out here, and it'll show you what the dimension is right now. Right now it's 1.71. So I want to make that 0.5. And I'm going to make the other perpendicular line too. Since I haven't right-clicked and hit cancel, is that what it is? Cancel? Yeah, cancel. I'm still in the dimensioning tool. So I can just go straight to this line here and click on that. Drag it somewhere, and it'll show me what the current dimensions are. And I want to make this 2. And now the dimensions are the way that I want them to be. Now I can click right click, cancel to get out of the dimensioning tool. And now I have this finished sketch. To zoom in and zoom out, by the way, do a 2-finger up or 2-finger down on your what's that thing called, touchpad thing. So you can zoom in like that. If you make a mistake and want to erase something, there's a back button that you can always use, or you can click on lines and hit delete and they'll go away. I'm going to delete these, and I'm going to remake this just to show another tool that will be useful to us, and that's the line tool. So if I want to make this rectangle just as 4 separate lines, I could go from here to here, and from here to here, and from here to here, and from here to here. And then I could do the dimensioning just the same way I did before. This is all we want to do right now. Now the plan is we're gonna get out of the 2-dimensional sketch environment, go back to the 3D environment. We're gonna select this shape that we just made, and then we're gonna extrude it up this way, okay, out of the plane that's showing. So I'm gonna click Finish Sketch, and that'll take me back to 3D. Well, sometimes it pops you back to a view that's obviously 3D. In this case, it didn't. But if you want to see a different view, you can always go to this named views, and it has a few different options, and I'm going to go to home. And when I click on home, it sort of pops it back into our original three-dimensional view. And you can scroll in and out, make it bigger or smaller. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is extrude this 0.4 inches like out of this plane. So I'm going to highlight this whole rectangle. So click inside that rectangle and it'll turn it a different color like that. And so now what I've done is I've said, I've highlighted the thing that I'm going to extrude, the shape that I'm going to extrude. And now that it's highlighted, I'm going to click on this extrude tool. You also can always go to the create drop-down menu, and then it's all in words. And the distance I want to do this is 0.4 inches. And when I click OK, you can see that we have this solid shape. That's the dimensions that I wanted. Now I want to show you a few things for manipulating this in the 3D environment. So one thing that you're going to want to do all the time is rotate this around to look at different views. This is the rotate tool, and it just takes a little practice to get used to what it's going to do. But if you hold down the main mouse button, you can drag it around to look at it from different views: underside, top side, back corner. Once you have it in the orientation you want, you can right click and hit cancel to get out of the rotation tool. And if you ever rotate it and you're like, I have no idea how to get back where I was, remember that those named views are there. So you can always just click back to the home view to start over again. Anybody have any questions about this? Yeah.
Can you go back to the
Sketch?
sketch?
Yeah. So once you've left a sketch, if you want to go back, so I'm going to pull down this list of all the sketches we've done, which is just one. Right click on this and go to Edit Sketch. And if you do that, then you're back looking at the sketch, and you can, change the dimensions and things like that. And then once you have the dimensions the way you want them, just hit Finish Sketch again, and it'll, any changes you made, it'll propagate those changes through everything that you've done up to that point. So if I would have changed those dimensions, it would have recreated that rectangular solid just with the new dimensions incorporated. Okay, so now there's a couple of things that we want to do. We want to make the that inset cutout on the long side, and we also want to make the holes in the top. And we're going to use the extrude tool for both of these. I'm going to start by making that inset cutout on the side. Okay, so remember that to do an extrude, the first thing that you have to do is choose a plane and draw a sketch. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the plane where I want to make the rectangle to cut out, and I want it to be this. So I'm going to highlight that side. And then I'm going to click on the sketch tool, or you can go to create and go to sketch. And it'll pop it into place. And now we can draw the shape that we want to extrude. Another tool that's going to be useful for manipulating the environment is the pan tool, just moving it around. That's the hand here. So if you go to that, you can drag this into so you can see it the way you want to. And then just remember, when you're done with any of these tools, right click and go to cancel so that you can start using the next tool. Anybody need some time to get into this location? Or you guys have any questions that I can help with?
We're just
Okay. Well, let me know if it's always sort of a funny environment going through this with everybody at once, but we have plenty of time, so let me know if I can help you. So okay, we're in this sketch environment, and now I'm going to make a rectangle. And so this is going to be inside the first one, and I'm just going to sort of pull it, this arbitrary rectangle. Then I'm going to use the dimension tool to get it the right distances from the sides and stuff like that. So I made this rectangle, right click cancel to get out of the rectangle tool. And now, like one by one, I'm going to adjust all these dimensions. So I'll go to create sketch dimension. Last time, what we did when we did the sketch dimension was we just highlighted one line. This time, we're going to do dimensions that are distances between things. So I'm going to highlight this, and I'm going to highlight the thing I want the distance from. And then I'm going to drag it down here, and you can see that the current dimension there shows up. And I want this distance to be 0.05. And you can see when you hit enter, it changes that distance. Yep.
Wait, did you make that in 0.05 millimeter or inches?
This is in inches. Yep. And if you're in millimeters and you want to be in inches, you can change that in the document settings. So you can go up here, go to, actually, it might not let you do it.
Oh yeah, it is.
Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. And so go to this edit, and it'll let you change to millimeters or inches, whatever you want. So now I'm going to do it 3 more times. The distance from this line to this bottom line, I want that to be 0.05. From this line to this edge, I want that to be 0.05. And from this to this, I want that to be 0.05. And so now that I've got all these dimensions right, I'm done with this sketch. I can click finish, and it pops back into 3D. Yeah.
What are the dimensions of the We see the
Yeah.
picture of the dimensions of the box.
Yeah. So instead of, I could have done it as dimensions of the inside rectangle. Instead, what I did was I did distances from the edge of the outer rectangle to the inner, and just made each of those 0.05.
I made my initial rectangle one size. I don't remember what the right size.
Oh, okay. So that is a height of 0.4. So are you in the sketch for the original sketch, or are you in this sketch?
I have it extruded, but I extruded it too big.
Oh, okay. So you can go. So the easiest way to adjust any of these things is to do it where you created it. So let's go to the extrude. And actually, this is a helpful thing for everyone to see. Down here on the lower left, you have a timeline of all the changes you've made. This blue one is the extrude. So I'm going to right click on that and click edit feature. And all of your instructions for the extrude process are there. And so if you made the distance 0.8 or something by accident, now you can make it 0.4. Yep.
If I put it on the wrong side, how do I move the?
Oh, yeah. So let's see where are you in the sketch environment or the?
No, I got out.
Oh, okay. Oh, I gotcha. So we just want to get rid of that. So you could use the back button, or you can right click on that and delete it.
Okay.
And then just sort of do it over again.
Okay. You can't just move it?
You can't move it, no. Not that I'm aware of. I think you just have to do that one again.
Sounds good.
Any other questions right now? Okay, so now we have this rectangle drawn here. And you might think of an extrude as creating material, but you can also do an extrude that removes material. So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this inner rectangle, and I'm going to extrude in the direction into the box, and I'm going to tell it how much material I want to extrude, like I'm chiseling material away, you know. So highlight inside that shape, and you can see the color changes. And now I'm going to extrude. And notice that this blue arrow tells you the direction that it's going to extrude. And you can see if you pull this out, you know, it guesses that I want to add material. And if I pull it that way, that distance becomes positive. We want to go the other direction, which is like a negative distance. And the distance that I want to go is 0.05 inches. And if I click OK, now you can see, if I rotate this around, you can see that that I've removed 0.05 inches of material from the side of that box. Okay, so I have this cut out of the one side. Now I want to cut it out of the other side. So see if you can work through just repeating these steps on the other side. I'm going to rotate it so I can see the other side. You could also use the named views to get over to the other side. I'm going to highlight the side, create the sketch, make the rectangle. So see if you can just work your way through that. And feel free to talk to each other and ask me questions and everything. Yep.
Can I see the schematics on the top?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a quick pic, actually.
Oh, whoops. Okay, well, the last thing that we want to do is make those 4 holes. And so I'm going to highlight the top. You can do the bottom too, and sketch. And I'm just going to make the 4 holes in one sketch so I can do all the dimensions relative to each other. And then I'm going to extrude them all at once. So I'll do the first hole here. I said that it should have a diameter of 0.3, and you can do sketch dimension, click on the circle, and it shows you the diameter. We want to change that to 0.3. We want this centered. And so I want the distance from the center of the circle to either one of these 2 walls to be half of the length of that dimension. So I'm going to highlight the center, highlight this, and I want that to be 0.25 because that full edge is 0.5. And now the last thing I want to do is, it says that I want the farthest left point on this circle to be 0.16 from the edge. Well, there's not really a way to do that in here. You'd have to do a bunch of other stuff before you could use that as a dimension. But we know that the diameter of this circle is 0.3. Okay. So a radius is 0.15. And so we want the distance from here to here to be 0.16 for that and 0.15 for that. So I'm just going to do another dimension from here to here and make that 0.31. Okay. And again, if you're now you might think, so what about these other 3 circles? There's probably a way to automate making those, and there is, that we'll talk about next time. But for now, we're just going to do the geometry ourselves and just create these circles. So I'm going to create another one.
Do we send this in?
What?
Do we like send it to you?
No, this is just, there'll be an assignment where you're doing this kind of stuff, but this one is just an in-class activity. Okay, so again, I'm going to make the diameter 0.3. From the center of the circle to the edge, I'm going to make 0.25. And now this time, we want the farthest right point of this circle to the farthest left point of this circle to be 0.16. There's not really a way to do that. So I'm going to go the distance from this center to this center. And I'm going to make that equal to the 0.16 plus one radius, 0.15, plus the other radius, 0.15. So that's going to be 0.46.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you're just doing that same process 2 more times. Bless you. Once you get to this point, we want to extrude. You could extrude them one by one, or you could just highlight all of them by using a control. Hit control and click. So there's 1, control click, 2, 3, 4, and then you don't have to do 4 separate extrude commands. And then we'll just do the extrude. We want to go in the opposite direction that this suggests. So I'm going to drag it this way. And then the extent type, so far on the extrudes, we've extruded to a certain distance. We want to go all the way through, so just go all. And then there's the thing that, I think it's pretty obvious what this thing would be useful for. No, just kidding. It's, but there it is. If that was useful to anybody, they would have it. I don't know. It does look like a brick. So let's say that that cut depth is 0.03 inches.